Welcome back to another episode on the Gold Room podcast. Today I have Dylan Muir from Lexchip. Lexchip is merging AI and legal.
The focus for Lexchip is physical systems where you've got a contract and currently just bits of paper. So we want to embed those contracts as computer code into the physical system itself. The LLMs, ChatGPT, Claude, etc. Fundamentally, it's a language model. It's language to language, words to words. What it doesn't have, that we do have, is a world model underneath it. It doesn't have a true understanding of the world, right? Which is what you see exactly when you ask about driving. Do I need to drive the car to the car wash? ChatGPT doesn't know really what a car is, what a car wash is, what you do at a car wash.
Edge AI underground.
To me, that leads towards autonomous mining equipment. But edge just means some physical system. These enormous autonomous mine trucks and haul trucks that they've got up on the mine sites in Western Australia are certainly the most physically imposing example of edge AI that you can possibly come to.
Welcome back to another episode on the Gold Room podcast. Today I have Dylan Muir from Lexchip. Lexchip is a AI company merging AI and legal together. Dylan, thank you very much for coming and joining me, mate.
Thanks, Josh. It's my pleasure.
Beautiful. But look, before we get into Lexchip, we always start with the life and the times, mate. So take us back to the early years. Where'd you grow up? What led you to start the company and grow the company that you're doing today?
Sure thing. Yeah, it's a bit of a twisted tale. So I'm originally a Brisbane boy from over east. I studied computer science, electronic engineering at QUT, and I was always interested in neural networks and artificial intelligence. So about 96, 97, I started getting into neural networks. But at that point, it was extremely rudimentary stuff. It was nothing like ChatGPT. It was nothing like these large language models we have today. It was very basic, kind of small language processing, couldn't do much of anything. And after finishing up with electronic engineering, I realized I wanted to understand real intelligence, biological intelligence, human intelligence.
You're in the wrong bloody room for that right now with me, sitting here with me, mate, but we'll carry on.
Well, we can do incredible things with our brains. So everything we built with about 20 watts worth of power coming out of our heads.
Yep.
And it's this incredibly complex piece of computational machinery that we still don't really understand, but we're doing the best we can to learn and extract as much information as we can about how we can accomplish these things. But I realized I needed to actually study the biology if I wanted to understand those. So I moved over to Switzerland.
How old were you?
I was 23, a ripe young age of 23. Started a PhD in computational neuroscience. Our focus was really trying to understand, reverse engineer the brain from a computational perspective.
Wow.
How can we understand the computational principles that give rise to these amazing feats of speech, vision, navigation, intelligence with this tiny fraction of power compared with the desktop computers, compared with the AI that we have. Melting power stations and melting data centers in order to tell you that you don't need to bother driving your car to the car wash because it's closer to walk.
Mate, I saw that came up on LinkedIn the other day. I ran that through ChatGPT myself.
Yeah,
it was crazy.
Did you get the same answer?
I got the same answer. Yeah. I was shocked, and I wrote, how am I going to clean my car if I walk?
No, exactly.
It's ridiculous. Well, but I think what that is, it just shows the flaws.
Yeah,
the flaws in
absolutely.
it. And so many people, most people are probably just using it for an email. Right?
That's
but
right. Look,
the power of it is so much more.
Absolutely. The LLMs, ChatGPT, Claude, etc.
China's DeepSeek.
China's DeepSeek.
That's really powerful.
Incredible what they can do, but fundamentally, it's a language model. It's language to language, words to words. That's what it excels at. But what it doesn't have, that we do have, is a world model underneath it. It doesn't have a true understanding of the world, right? Which is what you see exactly when you ask about driving. Do I need to drive the car to the car wash? Ask any human. Of course, they're going to give you a sensible answer. ChatGPT doesn't know really what a car is, what a car wash is, what you do at a car wash. Just knows the next words. Most likely word to predict.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So I'm in Switzerland, done a PhD, trying to understand the brain.
What dual degrees did you do?
Oh,
at uni?
so undergrad was electronic engineering, computer science. So I was leaning sort of in the robotics direction, in the neural networks direction. I was working with the neural networks research group. Very underwhelmed with what you could really do with neural networks at that point.
Yep. But you,
Um,
when you did say, I'll take you back. You did say 1996, right?
96.
So I remember Encarta 98.
Yeah.
Remember Encarta
Yeah.
98?
You can get an encyclopedia on a CD.
It was wild. So I mean, I can't even. The technology wasn't that great back then.
No.
But obviously we've come forward in leaps and bounds. But
Yeah,
96,
100%.
you leave the country?
That's right. No. 96, I was at QT. That was start of my undergrad, basically,
Right.
96, 97. Started working with a neural network group during undergrad at QUT, but very small scale. You're talking a few hundred neurons, right? There's not much you can do. ChatGPT, it's billions of parameters, right? Billions of parameters. Difference is enormous, but the fundamental architecture and computational substrate's basically the same. You just got GPUs and CPUs instead of just a CPU. We can run a few hundred neurons. Yeah, so it's basically a scale up of compute that's led to where we are now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's go to Zurich.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm in Zurich studying PhD, trying to understand the brain. Spent some years working in experimental neuroscience labs, really trying to understand the wetware, as they call it, trying to build mathematical models of that wetware, trying to understand the computational principles. And at some point,
hardware, software, and then wetware is
wetware's what's in your head. Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
It's a bit of a facetious term. Yeah,
but look, I love it.
Yeah,
I think it's great.
Yeah, that's the wetware. And at some point, I realized career in academia, it's very difficult. It's a difficult road. It's not a lot of money. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of difficult career structure. Had 2 small kids at that point. My partner is an academic, still an academic.
Awesome.
Was at that point. 2 double career academic families is a bit of a tall ask.
Especially throwing a couple of kids.
Throwing a couple of kids as well. So I decided a lateral move to a startup might be interesting, might be a bit more secure. I started working. I came in as number 4 through the door for an AI Swiss tech startup, deep tech startup. It was sort of the red thread there is trying to extract principles from the wetware, put them into silicon hardware to enable very, very low power AI processing. So the whole point of what I spent 8 years with that Swiss silicon startup, trying to take AI models out of the cloud, trying to put them into battery-powered devices, extremely low power, always on sensor processing, camera processing, vision, audio processing, trying to bring those AI models onto a device.
So things like what, like drone technology, robotics of some description.
Yeah, absolutely. So smartwatches, smartphones, obviously, you already have a phone that reacts if you say, "Hey Siri," for example. Your watch reacts. They're now listening continuously to using edge AI models to access your vocal stream, detect what it's supposed to program to detect. We were building the same technology for vision streams. So you have a smart AI camera where instead of recording and streaming all of your data up into the cloud for processing, you're doing it on the camera, on chip, on device, battery powered.
Like my Meta glasses.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So there's been a big push in the last 10 years to start to bring these AI models, bring these capabilities into battery powered devices. That's what we were doing. I was working on the AI machine learning team, building and running that team. We were designing chips to be extremely efficient, power efficient, operating similarly to the way biological brains work, bringing some of that AI intelligence into edge device. But that brings with it a whole bunch of new use cases, some of which are very interesting and commercially interesting, some of which are socially good, some of which are maybe slightly problematic or challenging from an ethical or legal perspective. For example, you mentioned drones. Obviously, the perception and the use of drones in warfare has changed dramatically over the last 4 years. That is the technologies we were working on would be able to enable more autonomy, right? More autonomous robots, more autonomous drones, autonomous surveillance. All of these things are potentially bad uses of the edge AI technology, right? So there's as any tool can be used for good things, can be used for troubling things. The issue from the legal side is that there's not currently any legal solution to keep those uses in check, right? Which is where Lexchip comes in. Lexchip is our step in that legal tech direction for autonomous systems, for edge systems.
Let's get into Lexchip.
Absolutely.
How did you come about it? And is this your brainchild?
Yeah, so I'm CEO of Lexchip. When I moved back from Switzerland to Australia about a little over 2 years ago now, I was casting about for a network. Perth is fairly new to me. All of my connections were over east. So I was trying to meet as many interesting people and do as many interesting things as I could. And some of those people that I met were SJ Price, Natasha Bleicher, both are very senior legal tech experts, legal AI experts from the legal side. They've both been very senior lawyers for a number of years. They've both been active in the AI and deep tech scene for a number of years.
I actually saw SJ speak at a Oz IMM event last year. She seems amazing. I've actually asked her to come on the show. She was talking about how she built an AI agent. So she's also not just an amazing lawyer. She's a professor at a university. And she was saying that she built an AI agent that her students go to. It sounds like her. Same mannerisms. She said it's me, but 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, that the students can go to and ask questions. And, for her to be so passionate about AI, to build that, as well as everything else that she's got going on, phenomenal.
Amazing.
Phenomenal woman. And so she's on the board?
She's on. She is a senior advisor.
Okay.
Natasha Bleicher is on the board. She's also a senior advisor. So the amazing thing about SJ and Natasha is, in SJ's case, yeah, as you point out, she's not just a lawyer. She's not just an AI thought leader. She's a practitioner. She knows. She's had hands on. She knows exactly what she's doing. In both of for Natasha and SJ, they are not just legal experts. They're also AI deep tech experts.
Wow.
And that sort of meshing and cross-pollination of fields is something extremely valuable and also very rare. So on the tech side of things, there's a bunch of tech bros like myself who don't have a legal background. There's a
Tech
bunch
bro.
of
I like it.
There's a bunch of lawyers who, of course, don't have deep tech hands-on experience, but putting legal people in the room, lawyers in the room with tech people trying to build something for the law based on the technology and the solutions that we have is, I think, something special. And that's what we're trying to build with Lexchip.
I think that's bloody fantastic because, obviously, mining podcast, so many mining companies out there have just shut the doors on AI. Like what's the one with Microsoft? Is Microsoft Copilot. So some mining companies say, well, yep, you can use Copilot. That's enough. They've locked out of ChatGPT, DeepSeek, Claude.
Yep.
They don't want to use them. They don't want their staff putting their sensitive information, which you can totally understand. The legal ramifications of that need to be looked at, need to be addressed. Is that what you guys are going to be helping mining companies look at and understand?
We are more focused on the edge AI aspect, obviously for obvious reasons, due to my experience. Where we see the real gap at the moment is increasing use of autonomy, increasing autonomous systems. You've already got, across mining, you've got an enormous increase in remote operations over the last decade.
Yeah.
You will have more autonomy coming in. You've already got autonomous haul trucks on various sites around Australia. You'll have much more of that. You'll have other autonomy in mining equipment, but the legal system is not keeping pace with this. So you were pointing out issues with exfiltration of sensitive information just using ChatGPT. You've got similar issues of control and contractual compliance for autonomous systems as well, operating on mining sites. Is the system working according to contract? It's more than just safety. You've got a million safety guardrails already. But there are plenty of things that you can do which are intrinsically safe from a physical perspective, but which are in breach of contract, right? Who's keeping track of that? At the moment, it's a PDF. It's a lawyer, a human being sitting in a room trying to make sure the contracts are being adhered to. Nothing is being tracked live. A lot of these contracts for mining operations, mining leasing for these autonomous devices, also freight, road freight, automotive fleet vehicles. You've got a whole bunch of physical systems where there are contracts in place governing the use of those systems, governing the operations of those systems, but none of that is being tracked live. None of those clauses are being tracked live. So when there's a breach, you've got a 6-month, 12-month, 18-month delay for the law to try and catch up. And that's just untenable. And it's going to become much more untenable going forward as you've got this proliferation of autonomous systems.
Do we need more lawyers going into? Do we need more lawyers?
We need more tech expertise in the law. Absolutely. The lawyers
are they going to start merging a data science degree with a law degree?
I think the smart law firms are already getting across this. The smart insurance firms and reinsurance firms already have AI compliance teams. The smart law firms are working in that direction. So Natasha and SJ, I think, were very ahead of the curve there in terms of the legal implications, ramifications of LLMs and AI. They are doing their best to convince other law firms that you can't be ignoring this. Boardrooms are already concerned about these compliance issues. They want to make sure that they're compliant with all of their contractual obligations.
So what do? If you're a mining company, let's say you're a mid-tier mining company, it's Bellevue Gold, for example. What should Bellevue Gold be looking at to make sure that they're covering all bases with being able to keep utilising AI in-house, but also covering the legal side?
So the use of AI in-house is an interesting one. So you talked about exfiltrating sensitive information, right? Obviously, if you're using something like ChatGPT or Claude, it's an online platform. Anything you paste into your code box or any document you paste in there is being sent, probably maybe not plain text, but it's being sent over the web, potentially being used for additional training. You've lost control of that data, of that information. You've lost control. You're perhaps not compliant with your own privacy contractual obligations, and you're not getting the full value out of that data necessarily. You could be using that to train your own internal AI system. You could be running your own internal chatbots and AI systems trained on your data that are not in the cloud, not sending data to anybody else. You've got control of your data. You're monetizing your data. You're getting better service internally and for your customers.
So what hardware or software are companies needing to look at to onboard these systems?
This is getting a lot more accessible, and this is moving a little bit away from what Lexchip is trying to do. But these systems are a lot more accessible now. There's open source solutions for a lot of these models. You can run a lot of these models on a laptop now. Training is still problematic. You still need a beefy computer, maybe a couple of few $1,000 GPU in order to really train and fine tune one of these models. But running something is very accessible. It's not quite push button, I would say. Maybe you need to have a little bit of IT expertise to get something up and running and trained. But this is definitely achievable for a mid-tier company.
Let's get into edge AI in plain terms.
Edge AI just means your AI is running in a physical device. So the edge it's a bit of a buzzword. It means edge of the network, edge of the internet, right? So your phone is an edge device. Your Tesla is an edge device. Your remote operation mining truck is an edge device. The focus for Lexchip is physical systems where you've got a contract, interestingly, a multi-party contract governing the use of that system. Road freight across Australia is a great example. Mining operations and rentals, a great example. You've got physical systems, not even autonomous AI systems. You've got haul trucks, you've got diggers. There are contracts with multi-parties governing the use of where that system can be, who can be using it, what it is allowed to be used for. the maintenance contracts, the insurance contracts, rental contracts, all of those things are complex and currently just bits of paper. So we want to embed those contracts as computer code into the physical system itself, have those contracts tracked live. So that's the sort of edge system that I'm talking about. Edge AI is, of course, even more interesting because then you've got the autonomy coming into these physical systems as well. You've got autonomous haul trucks, autonomous mining equipment.
Do you think people need to be worried about their jobs?
Look, I think there is a structural change coming for the labour force in general, not just for mining, obviously. I've spent most of my working life writing computer code, and that's rapidly coming to an end. So I've got teenage kids. I don't think that coding is a viable career opportunity for them anymore.
Which is crazy because 3 or 4 years ago, it was just a short period of time where that's what people should be getting into.
Yep,
it was coding. It was computer coding. You were a back end developer, a front end developer,
Yep.
and then 3 years ago, it's done and out.
So the job market for entry level coding positions has collapsed globally, and that's a direct consequence of Claude, ChatGPT, Copilot. That's it. I think it's a little bit short sighted because the quality of code that you get out of these systems is not yet production ready by any means. You still need a lot of oversight from senior engineers to make sure that what you're deploying, what you're putting in production is something sensible, something safe. And the danger now structurally is you're not hiring any junior engineers at all.
So how will you end up with a senior engineer?
10, 15 years time.
I was just thinking that.
So we're going to be back to the 80s, back to the 90s, where if you were a greybeard COBOL programmer, you could charge somebody $400K per year because nobody had your expertise. Another 15 years time, it'll be you and me with a bit of coding experience. We've done the senior engineer side of things. We're the only ones around. So, but it raises questions of what is going to happen to the labour force across the board, right? Especially for entry level positions.
What does the legal team think about that? The legal team, like if you need precedent for anything that you're looking at, rather than looking at a law book, you can just go to ChatGPT and look up precedent for. I used it recently for a lady crashed into the back of my truck, and so the rental company tried to say it was my fault.
Yeah.
It's just like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
I knew, and so all I did is I used ChatGPT to write up a bloody a reply letter with all their nonsense that they'd sent me, along with, and I wrote, please add some legal precedent from for WA, for Western Australia, and it come back with 3 different cases, and so all I did was send that off to them, and then they obviously didn't look at it. They wouldn't have looked up those cases, but they were legitimate cases. I actually looked at them. I was like, oh, this is actually so-and-so versus so-and-so. Fantastic. So should lawyers be scared?
I think lawyers are going to be faced with the same issues as coders. On the junior side of things, you've now got a significant ability for ChatGPT to contribute, where previously it would have been your junior, right? Junior partner or intern or someone else coming in, entry level position, filling that role. Similar issues across the board, I would say.
Yeah, accountants, everything. Yeah, it's. What do you think as a human? What do you think about the mass use of AI and the future? You're like me. You've got a couple of young kids. What do you? You have, as a parent, you have all these hopes and dreams of what you want them to accomplish, and so many people say, well, you still need the human behind the AI. So you just need to be looking at those jobs as they arise, or looking at those tasks that will come about. Oh, someone still needs to check the checker.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think that it's a problem. I'm concerned about when I think about what my kids should be training for, what they should be thinking of aiming for as a career in 10, 15 years' time. It's almost completely open. It's wide open. Who knows what the careers are going to be in 15 years' time? What a good career is going to be. Anything hands-on is probably a safe bet. Tradies, Probably, probably a very good
plumbers
choice.
and sparkies,
Yeah,
mate.
absolutely. But anything where you, any job from the last 5 years where you're sitting between a keyboard and a screen typing something, you've got to be thinking that's on the chopping block.
Yeah. All these AI data, all these data centers, power is key. Is that something that you need to be with your business? You need to be looking at next DC, working with them, or not?
I think that's interesting. Our dependency, we're not going to have a strong dependency for Lexchip on cloud AI per se. We'll have cloud services, but it's not going to be. We're not going to be melting some power stations just to power Lexchip.
Yeah, okay.
We'll leave that to OpenAI and the others.
Yeah, well, they're certainly doing that. The big rush for nuclear power stations all over the world. Uranium mining, which we're not doing here yet, but it's a different person, different topic. What about the AI hype? In the news everywhere, the AI hype. Stocks crashed recently. What do you reckon?
I think it's a concern. It does seem to be a bit of a bubble in the sense that the valuations don't seem to be justified by the revenue that these companies are making.
Can you go into that for me?
Almost nobody is making a profit from AI services. So the people who are winning are Amazon with AWS, Google with Google Cloud, NVIDIA, obviously they're providing the silicon.
Yep.
It's the people providing the hardware, providing the compute. They're making money hand over fist. OpenAI is losing money with every query.
Is it just marketing? These companies are marketing. They've got an amazing marketing team, hype, build, and then raise that share price. But is that share price going to come crashing down on them?
I suspect it will. I think I'm not alone in thinking that. It's very overheated, very overvalued. You've got the massive companies. I think probably the big ones like OpenAI and Anthropic are probably going to get picked up by other big companies. They're not going to just disappear. But all of the constellation of small startups that thought, oh, I can jump on this LLM train and make a little bit of money by building an LLM for finance or something like that. I don't see most of them making it. The consultants, the big four, are also doing okay. They're providing services. They're able to charge for those services, providing AI services, and they're also winning out. But not very many people are making money out of it.
Yeah. Edge AI underground.
Edge AI underground. Yeah. So to me, that leads towards autonomous mining equipment in general. You're already seeing autonomous haul trucks. When people think edge AI in the silicon industry, they're usually thinking small scale. But edge just means some physical system. These enormous autonomous mine trucks and haul trucks that they've got up on the mine sites in Western Australia are certainly the most physically imposing example of edge AI that you can possibly come to. But there's going to be more and more of that. So autonomous maritime operations. There's already running out of Perth. There's remote maritime operations. I'm sure there'll be increasing autonomy coming in there. Of course, you've got autonomy in the skies on the defence side of things. You'll have more and more autonomous drone-based remote operations and monitoring of physical infrastructure. You'll have increasing autonomous edge AI, and that's coming into the mining industry as well. Yeah,
I was having a discussion with someone the other day about how it may lead, more AI will lead to less downtime on vehicles, on mining machinery. Like if you're loading, if you've got the exact weight or that you need a bucket to be able to load into a haul truck or a dumpy, then if that's every single time the same weight, load cells and everything, then it's going to reduce, because you get a digger operator, you get an excavator operator, and he's just loading, fill it up, drive. People are hard on the gear, different truck drivers. So many mining companies want more women in mining because they're better with the driving of the trucks,
Right.
just easier on the gear. So is that going to be if there's more bloody autonomous vehicles?
Yeah, look, I think that's a really interesting perspective, and the question of maintenance is a really important one there, right?
I think so.
Is the vehicle being operated correctly within the parameters that it should be in order to get good maintenance outcomes? And this is something which Lexchip is trying to move in that direction, right? Is the vehicle being maintained and operated under contract, which is something which is not currently being tracked to the extent that it should be. An interesting counterpoint to that is, though, I heard tell of a recent example. If you've got full autonomous mining trucks, they tend to follow a single pathway in the mine site, leading to big ruts in the roadway, whereas a human driver will automatically modulate their steering slightly so that you don't
Keep
cut up
taking
the
that same
road, right?
track.
Don't keep taking the same track. So there's something to be said for a little bit of messy human interaction.
But that's just code, right? Like someone they'll be able, if that's the case, they'll just be like one truck's driving over there and then one wheel across the next one, and then they'll just work each other out.
Yeah,
I'm not smart. That's what I'd do.
Yeah, no, obviously, that's of course that's something you can fix, but it's not necessarily something that springs to mind immediately when we think, autonomy is going to fix everything. Everything will be better.
Yeah. This is my last question, Dylan, and I do thank you, and not just I know you've got to get out of here, mate. We've taken up a bit of your time, and I thank you so much. Where do you think Lexchip will be in the next 10 years? Which is crazy to think, because what we've seen with AI in 3 years is mind-boggling. So 10 years might be a bit too far, but where's Lexchip going in the next 5 then?
Right. Yeah, I'd be a fool to try and predict something for 10 years in the future.
Wow.
Absolutely. Well, Lexchip is very early stage. We've only been running since about the middle of last year. We're going through a seed funding round at the moment, and then we're going to really start building in the next couple of months. So what we've got currently are simulations of the legal tech infrastructure that we're building. We're working on a bit of embedded hardware that can go on a physical system and embed a contract into that system. So we're moving in to set up pilot projects over the next couple of years. My hope is that in 5 years' time, I think the legal system will have caught up with this need for a technical solution to speed things up, to catch up with AI autonomy, especially for edge devices. The legal system will need the infrastructure in place that can accelerate it to the same extent that AI has accelerated. And Lexchip is going to be there. We're at the forefront of that.
Is Lexchip going to be a private or public company?
At the moment, it's private, but 5 years' time, everything goes according to plan. In 5 years' time, I think you'd be either expecting an IPO or expecting to be bought by someone much bigger.
Awesome, mate. Well, bloody hell, I wish you all the luck in the world. I will be getting you back to chat about in probably 12 to 18 months, because
Fantastic.
Everything is going crazy. AI-wise, it's wild.
Thanks, Josh.
It's
been a pleasure.
Excellent, mate. Thank you very much for tuning into this awesome episode on the Gold Room podcast. Make sure you tune in next time, and thank you very much for tuning in.